Let's restart.
I ruined the podcast.
That's alright. You can ruin the podcast. Am I actually going to restart? I wasn't going to... Oh, that could be pre-show.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Welcome, friends of all designs, to 8.5-Bit Game Club, the somewhat weekly show where we look at a game and dissect it and work out if we like it or not, and if you should look at it, or whatever. Just have a chat. I'm your host, Paul, and joining me today are my good friends Anais.
Hello.
And Jeremy.
Hello.
Good work, Jeremy.
Said hello.
Nice and simple. This week we looked at Blind Trust, which is a free game on the PC, which has some limitations in that it is two-player only, and must be played on a LAN. You can get around that with using like a online, like a Hamachi is the old one we used to use.
Oh, yeah.
But otherwise you want to be in the same location, because the game requires one player to be blind and the other player to be deaf. So let's get into it. So, Blind Trust. I had the most interesting experience trying to play this because I wanted to get a little bit of footage for it. So I set up a laptop next to my PC, and I'm just going to look at this game objectively, not actually have the experience. I'll trust you guys to have the experience. And I'm going to try and play two games at once. So as the soldier, you get to look at the game world, and you've got a crossbow, and you can place markers that make sound. And as the oracle, you see nothing. In fact, I have a little bit of footage of blind, just so you know what the hell it looks like. Oh, I'm just multi-selecting everything again.
You're not blind.
You're pretty blind. They put particles in the world.
I was expecting when you said you're blind, I thought I had to be blindfolded.
Oh,
For some reason I thought that too. It never occurred to me that the screen could be turned off or manipulated in a way.
Well, I actually, when we were playing before the show, I did, when I played a little bit of the Oracle, I closed my eyes and it was easier.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a better time with that. So yeah, you guys actually got in and played the game somewhat. So how was your reaction to this, ignoring the fact that I kept coming up behind you and trying to prompt you? So
well, I think I played the soldier first, which seems a lot easier because you can see things and you get instructions on the screen of what to do.
Oracle gets instructions too.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in the tutorial.
Yeah, and I was able to work out what I had to do really easily to achieve it, but I guess as the Oracle, it seems a lot harder.
It's really abstract. It's not... Because when you were playing Jeremy, after we did a few areas, I said, okay, you go look at what the real game is. Because here's one feature: if the Oracle moves too far away from the soldier's vision gets blurry. Doesn't really make it hard to move around though.
Doesn't really make sense either.
Yeah. She's your magical guide. But you had literally no idea what the environment was we were in.
No.
Because there's not much of a soundscape, is there?
There's almost none. It's a painfully repetitive soundscape for what it is.
Because it's just the beacons most of the time. Bloom, bloom, bloom.
I was at least expecting ground in the Oracle sort of area. All you have is audio, and it's not very left and right. It is a little, but... Yeah,
I wonder if we had better headphones, maybe it would have sounded more important to us.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, because you don't want to end up making it visual cues, because that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know.
It's a skill set that, you barely use, really. Because, in a real... I shouldn't be so cruel as to say in the real world. Not in this phony world where people can't see. But as a sighted person, as poorly sighted as I may be, if I hear something behind me, I'm just going to... My immediate reaction is just to immediately turn around and look at it.
Yeah.
It's not to wait for it to make a second noise so I can sort of center in on it. And then... but then when I was playing as the Oracle, I was incredibly... I was very patient, and I just... Sort of at the start I thought it would be easier than it was, and it was a challenge.
Jabba monster!
Probably.
No, that's just footage from my terrible two-handed trying to get there with two things. Yeah.
But as playing as the Deaf Oracle, at first I thought it would be quite an easy thing. I didn't realise you would be quite as precise because, like you said, I had no idea what was going on the soldier's screen. I didn't even know what the soldier was trying to accomplish.
I don't know either.
Well, you're just making your way through this island. When the game's loading, it seems to bug out for a second, and you get a nice overview of the entire island. So it looks fine. Like, I like the graphics.
Yeah,
I think it's a nice low poly sort of, like, we've seen it a bunch, but it's alright.
Well done.
But unfortunately, the Oracle does not get to see them. It doesn't get any compensation for that. And that's the thing. It's like it doesn't. Like I'd love to build up a soundscape around you. So and maybe it's not the soundscape of an island like this. Maybe it really contextualizes it as something else. Like what if it sounded like a factory to you, or something like that, or like it tries to create like some sort of disconnect between the two worlds that kind of. Yeah, it seems to lack interesting things to it.
The only thing I was a bit disappointed by was, and maybe it changes later on, it was very much like the relationship didn't really go two ways in the Oracle and the Soldier.
It was like, you do one thing, now I'll wait for the other person to do one thing, then you do it.
There's a lot of waiting.
Yeah. And especially when it's like someone's just trying to blindly hunt down. Like, you'd think if someone was blind, you could walk up and guide them.
Touch them.
Yeah. You say, oh, over here, take my hand. Like Ico or something like that, where you actually make a bond between it, when really it's just like, okay, well, I've done my thing. I'll just wait for you to stumble around for a while. If you're in the same room, I guess you can say, to the left.
Could be potentially. Yeah.
Which I guess that could... But the soldier's supposed to be deaf. So I guess you just gotta speak a bit.
To the left.
Oh no, you did it! No, I was trying to avoid doing that. Oh.
What? Are they gonna listen to me making fun of them?
You're a terrible man.
And speaking of being terrible, I did have fun when Anais was the Oracle and I was the Soldier, just trying to put the soundscape behind her all the time.
Yeah, you were trolling her. He'd run behind you and just put it down again, and then run behind you again. He was a terrible, terrible fan.
But it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, it really
is. I sort of wonder. It made me just think a lot how this mechanic could be used more effectively. And
not even this specific mechanic, just the idea of having certain information on one player and certain information on the other.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love games that do that. That separate, like you just look at something like straight up, keep talking and nobody explodes, something like that.
Oh, sure.
But in that case, it's the process of relaying that information between each other. The one and this there's no real information. Like the only thing that really is and there's actually no way to warn. The Oracle can hear invisible monsters, find them, and then reveal them.
Okay.
But what made it hard was
But you didn't even know there was a monster there.
Yeah, and then
except your health started going down.
Yeah, but I can't remember if the Oracle can see their health.
Oracle can see their health, but you can't see each other's health.
I guess I wasn't paying attention.
I could see you like flashing that you're getting hurt, and I was trying to work out how to like use my orb thing.
And playing as the Oracle, but that sort of just took the game down to like its most base mechanic when the monster showed up.
Yeah,
and it was almost like taking the Soldier out of the game, because at that point it was really just the Oracle who was in control.
I feel like when you're the Oracle, like it's not really an interesting experience, I guess.
A lot of that's the case for both characters, really.
Is the gameplay interesting for either character?
I would have liked to have seen it like I don't know what the right word is, like one computer type thing where one person has earphones and one person is actually blindfolded.
Yeah. Well, because you could do that with any game.
Yeah, true. But
which games would that be good for?
I think a racing game would be interesting. Like, how quickly could you relay information of like?
I was actually thinking about that. How about a blind rally game?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, not even blind rally. Short-sighted rally.
Yeah, I can get behind.
Yeah, it's just like it's kind of a blur. So because rally drivers have the call. Although there is that one rally driver that just like gets anyone in as his co-pilot, and it's like they're literally saying nothing. And he keeps getting in trouble for that, I believe.
I'm pretty sure there is at least a blind rally driver.
Yeah.
Who works entirely off the prompts.
But no, I think it would be good if it's like, if there was some visual, so you get a feel of what was going on, but you had a co-pilot that was like, okay, there's a sharp right up ahead doing that.
Exactly.
And that could be kind of fun. Maybe not a big game, but...
Well, this is built off sort of quite an old trust exercise, right? Where you lead a blind person through a maze.
Yeah, generally, but it's not really a maze. And normally, with that, don't you normally... Oh, no, you do just use voice all the time, don't you?
You just use voice. And you say, I'll go forward here. And the blind person can generally feel their way around. So they've got a bit more information in the scenery than the Oracle does.
Like, maybe the Oracle should just have an incredibly blurred vision. Like,
yeah, that would have felt a bit better.
Particularly with this world, I feel like the blurred vision could have really helped it, because you would have got quite a nice colour scheme.
Yeah.
And I think soundscape would have been important. It's got lovely music.
It does.
Yeah.
When you get to the fun little twee ukulele bit.
Yeah. But the thing is that the soldier actually has a whole orchestral score the whole time.
Even though he's deaf.
Well, that's the only sound that they hear.
Huh. I think if the information between the players was, I'm blanking. I'm just keep thinking of a higher tick rate, which you get what I mean. Like if it was more fast-paced, continual information between the two. If it wasn't like if it was a hum instead of a beep, maybe I think it would pick up the action a lot more.
It would also be less annoying.
Yeah. because beep is pretty goddamn annoying. Well, actually, what I don't think I even realised when I was doing this, because primarily looking at the soldier's screen, I end the footage here, I can't get through that gate. Because the Oracle wants to get all these things, there's a key that appears in the middle of it. So you do get visual information once in a while. Yeah.
So I wasn't even looking for it, because why would I look for it? So that's kind of a weird thing.
Well, you know that once you've hit the invisible monster and made them visible to the soldier, you see like a pink square, I think it is. Oh, no, you actually see the monster.
Yeah, you see the monster. When you hit those tables, then you get a little pink thing where the crystal was.
Yeah.
So you do get visual representations of things. But yeah. I really wish I liked it.
Yeah.
It has. I've got to say, it's very it's super buggy.
Yeah,
so,
which was this huge paranoia for me, particularly as the Oracle.
Well, quite often, like
the music sort of just cuts out.
Yeah, sounds would stop and everything. But that was when the game was working well. When I was trying to get this footage list up, part of the reason why you guys had a smoother experience is that I'd worked out how it liked my network, and I set it up the way I knew it worked. Literally, I probably restarted this game 20 times, but it would just crash on the tutorial. Just all sorts of problems. So yeah, it's buggy, doesn't quite work. But
there's something there.
It's got good ideas, and I just
needs something more.
Like a stronger information exchange and probably better puzzles, if we're being honest.
Well, I mean, it may grow up to like more intricate puzzles, but intricate puzzles don't make it more fun to solve.
No.
It's like that because I felt like you weren't supposed to talk. That's why I put you in separate rooms.
Yeah.
Because that might make it too obvious, but then at the same time, the game just it just had no flow to it. Sit around till the other person gives you an indication to do something.
Yeah.
Then sit around some more. Maybe troll the blind person. The blind person doesn't even know they're being trolled.
Yeah.
When I was playing the Oracle at first, and I'd bump into walls, or what I thought were walls. I didn't know what I was going through, and I'd sort of like use the bumps to sort of like guide me, because like you could feel.
Yeah, you
I
could
guess
bump
from a
against
control
things. Yeah.
Standpoint, you could feel that there was a wall there, and you could sort of direct around that.
Like there's a horror game that was, I can't remember if it was Kickstarter or not, but it's you're a blind person, but basically it's got like sonar in it, so that when there's sound, it will reverberate off the geometry.
Okay, that's
interesting.
That's cheating this idea, because it's still giving you like a vision of the geometry around you, but not a clear vision, only when there's sound. So even though like it's not literally being blind, but maybe it'd be more fun. Yeah. Because that's what I feel this is kind of like a concept that they push through.
Yeah.
And they just forgot the fact that it's not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's not fun. You can play Blind Trust if you want on Steam, and actually you can get it off Game Jolt and stuff as well if you want it, just so you can put it on any computer. That's what I did, just so I could try it on a few different machines. Next week, I have a choice of games for you.
Okay.
Ooh.
We can either play the fun multiplayer game Push Me Pull You, which, you know what? Maybe I'll try to contact the Genital Jousting team and see if we can do a double feature. I'll ask. Otherwise, we can play the new game by it's the which one was it? It's William Pooh One of the Stanley Parable devs, the one that went off and started Crows, and did that, the tiger in the unlock cage.
I'm keen to play that game anyway.
Yeah.
So we can play that. That game is called... What's it called? The Temple of No. You can tell it's planned because we literally just spoke about it just for the show. I had to look it up while we were doing the show because I didn't know the name yet. So Temple of No or Push Me Pull Me?
Temple of No.
Temple of No it is! Okay, thank you for watching Game Club. You can look up Temple of No. Just look it up on the internet. I believe it's a Twine game. We will talk about it next week. If you have any thoughts, contact us on bitsplease at 8.5bit.com. We will see you all next week for the regular show and Game Club. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.